Oh, gee. Oh, gee. What am I gonna do with you? What am I gonna do with you, D? Just the man I wanted to see. What do you want to see me for? Hmm?
Cricket spookled me. He was in that bathroom and he jumped down as soon as I walked in the door. He sounded like he was right there. I'm like,
Dude, he's on spook patrol today. I'm telling you. Got me too. I'm about to head out of Colorado on my way to Meow Wolf. I've never heard of Meow Wolf, no. No, I have not. Maybe I should run for president. Quit being such a naysayer. The very least, I could be like the new Mike Gravel, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, I'm not going to get enough to get elected, but I'll get enough to get up on the stage so I can roast all the fucking libs. All I need, what do I need? Like 1% or something in one state or some shit? I'm old enough now, you know what I mean? I'm not as goofy as Vermin Supreme, so I probably have a chance, you know? I could clean up a little bit. I'm not shaving, but I could clean up a little bit. Somebody's got to take the Mike Gravel mantle and just, you know, do a fucking whole presidential run that's not about winning, but it's about roasting the fucking people that are running. I'm much goofier than Vermin? What? He wears a fucking boot on his head, man. Come on. If I had a boot on my head, maybe I'd be goofier. Parky Kirk. No. You don't need to fucking name a vice presidential candidate. I'm not trying to get elected. I just want to roast.
Will say he's not doing it anymore.
No, he didn't, but I mean, he's like fucking 95, you know?
Is he?
He's old. Mike Gravel is like, I don't know if he's 95, but he's ancient.
He's 90, so yeah, you were pretty damn close.
Yeah, he old. Yeah, fuck that. I'm not pledging my support to anybody either when I drop out. Like, when it becomes, like, number one, I think if I ran a Mike Gravel candidacy, I would never concede. Like, until the end, you know what I mean? I would say I'm in it. I would refuse to concede and refuse to endorse anybody all the way to the fucking end.
Yeah, because there's, like, all these people drop out.
Fuck that.
Saying you to keep spending as much money, you can still be in the race and
Yeah.
just lower your campaign.
Dude, my campaign's already going to be low overhead anyway. Like, the only thing I need donations for is to get me back and forth to debates and, like, rallies and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need anything else. Just get me enough fucking money to get on one debate stage, and I promise I will roast everybody up there mercilessly all night.
Well, they have those donation minimums that suck.
I'm going to go beyond Mike Gravel, though. I'm going to have him shut my fucking mic off.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to make them come and kick me off the fucking stage. Because I'm just going to yell at these fucks the whole time and interrupt them. Dude, it's going to be great. It'll be worth it just for that. Yeah, dude, I've got Highdeology to communicate directly with the people. You know what I mean? Dude, the Republicans will love me. They're not going to be saying shit about me. Like, Because I'll be roasting the fucking shit out of all of the libs and making them look bad. They'll love me. They'll leave me alone. Paul's ego. Bad for America. Paul's ego is a communist. Paul's ego wants to torture cows. And then a clip from my perpetual milk machine joke from yesterday. Maybe you could make baby cows with giant udders and they could just suck each other's udders all the time. Paul's ego is a madman. I think it would help me. Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh, and then Milo Yiannopoulos does an ad against you.
Maybe he'll join me. Maybe he's ready to forgive me and it can be like Zigo Yiannopoulos. We team up. Zigo Yiannopoulos. So he can go to the vice presidential debate and make hay.
Them.
Yeah. Thanks for the $1.99, bruh. Thought you went after Ted Cruz a few months ago on Twitter. I did. I think. Who doesn't go after Ted Cruz on Twitter?
Ted Cruz just doesn't have any awareness of your existence.
No, Ted Cruz doesn't care. If you aren't a communist, why do you allow people with hammer and sickle profiles on your channel? Good question. Good old guilt by association. Flies. I never finished Sekiro, no. I eventually beat that ogre, and then I beat that one big giant boss the first time too. I kind of cheesed him, but whatever. A cheese is a win. If you're not a communist, why do you allow communists to exist? Yeah, I know. Must be a communist. What is the most annoying logical fallacy that you see people use? I mean, I think the most common one nowadays that I personally bump into is the old straw man fallacy. The old fucking, like, tried and true straw man is still going strong. Like, slippery slope is annoying, but the straw man fallacy is the most annoying because you end up arguing against a point you never made. Like, that to me is the most annoying and probably most nefarious use of logical fallacy. Now, I like ad homs, dude. I'm good with ad hominem.
But they have to be actual attacks against your actual character.
Yeah. No, I'm fine with ad hominem. I just don't like having to defend something I never said. Oh, I forgot to tell you, we got a lizard.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Well, he's not out here right now. But there's a little lizard. It looks like a little anole in Louisiana, but he's a little bigger and not as colorful. Yeah. He came up like a little gray anole, I think is what they're called, and he fucking searched the whole porch. He's up on the porch step there, doing his thing. Another little piece of wildlife has shown up to join the crew over here.
I think Mama Cat probably had enough to deal with Dinor. She hasn't come around.
I haven't seen her, yeah. I mean, she might have moved because of the hawks, to be honest with you.
That might have been too. Yeah. So the hawks roosted. It's like, all right, let me get my kitties out of here.
The false dichotomy, yeah. I mean, oftentimes you get like a combination of different stuff. Like I find that as a dude that takes political takes that are unpopular, I find that I spend way more time correcting people on what my actual takes are because people hear a part of my take or take a frame of my take and think it, like, I don't know, they run with it in a direction that I've never even implied. Dude, Othello with that cyber moderation, dude. Did you see that shit?
No.
There was a comment up for like a second.
Yeah.
Othello's got his like warning trigger words that warn him to ban people, dude. Othello is he's the technomancer of my fucking specters. He's out there with assisted banning technology, dude. We think about the idea that subcultures, think hip hop, folk punk, stoner culture, the new tribe, in other words, the way people align with one another. I don't know that it's necessarily new, though. I mean, subcultures have always thrived amongst humanity. It's just we live at a time now where they are so available en masse, rather than you having to seek out these subcultures and find your niche in them. Like they're just there in your face. You can go and join any number of subcultures that you want. So if anything, I think that the idea of a strong subculture has been diluted in modern times as a tribal entity because they're so accessible now. Back in the day, like people like that were parts of different subcultures like punk, whatever, like thrash metal, they had to associate with one another. They had to travel in order to see the shows that they all wanted to see and, come to know each other as a community. It's like now thrash metal is just another fucking subreddit. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. And calling hip hop a subculture anymore, I don't really think it applies. Seems to have overtaken geographical alignment and even political alignment at this point. I mean, maybe. I don't know if
For
that.
everyone, like if you ask the average person, they probably wouldn't identify in a subgroup like that.
I mean, I don't know. It just depends. There are so many of them now. That's why I say that the power of it has been diluted, because even if a person doesn't identify themselves as part of something that's a subculture, they probably are.
Yeah.
They're a QAnoner. They're a fucking gun nut. They're whatever, a conspiracy theorist. They probably participate in what we would call subcultural activity without even fucking realizing it. Which is why I say that the power of the subculture seems to be diluted and not strengthened by the internet in some ways. And it's way easier for a subcultural narrative to spread to the masses now. But I don't know. It's a weird topic. I really don't know what I think about it. Right. Yeah. I mean, hip hop is a subculture. You couldn't. I don't really think you've been able to call hip hop a subculture since like the late '90s, maybe. And even then, it was starting to bust out. Like hip hop was a subculture in the late '70s and through the '80s, and probably into the early '90s. But by the time the '90s were on their way out, hip hop was already like mass media. Are Highdeologs a subculture? I guess so, if you guys want to be. illegal to separate artist from art. Oh, okay, all right.
It's a bad comment.
It was it?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Otello on the case. He was repeating that? Oh, okay. Well, fuck him then. Fuck him then. I like being part of subcultures, but then I don't like to label myself by them. I've always got to remember to switch to fucking live chat. I wish there was a way to set that as like the default shit on your channel. But that would, that would actually be a user-friendly thing.
Viewers top chat too,
I know.
Probably just a function of that.
It's dog shit. I wish channel to channel you got the choice. Would you like your viewers to see by default top chat, live chat? I used to use top chat exclusively, but then I saw I switched over to live chat a few times and saw the types of shit that it was eliminating, and I was just like, this does nothing. I mean, yeah, use the live chat. Why not? I mean, the whole gatekeeping of subcultures is impossible now, though. I mean, gatekeeping in subculture used to be a real, tangible fucking thing. Like, for example, if you were just some kid off the street who got his hands on a bootleg punk tape back in the, 1970s, early 80s, when the punk scene was a genuine subculture, and you thought, oh, I'm just some kid from the city, and I'm going to dress up like a fucking punk, and I'm going to go to these shows, and I'm going to be a punk now. Dude, you'd be seen from a fucking mile away as the poser that you are. Nobody would fucking know you. And you would be ostracized as a result of that. So, the idea that gatekeeping and subcultures don't come hand in hand is just ignorant of the idea. Same thing goes for, I mean, not all subcultures are like that, but it's definitely not a new thing that, like the old heads in hip hop or whatever. There's a lot of gatekeeping that goes into the idea of being a hip hop head. Yeah, true dat, Marshall. Goths, yeah, for sure. Gatekeeping is a necessary thing to keep subcultures together. I just don't know when that becomes toxic. That's why I think the idea of a subculture has become diluted. Because back in the day, think about this. Let's talk about the punk scene, right? Back in the day, if you were a kid that was not into punk, and then all of a sudden you get into punk and you want to go try and perpetrate like you've always been into punk, and you dress the part and try and look the part and shit, and you're gatekept from the shows because people call you out as a fake ass punk, then you can't just go like, well, god damn it, I'm going to start my own punk scene. I mean, I guess you could back then, but the chances of you becoming a punk act or becoming the locus of a new style of punk, very slim. Nowadays, you can just be like, well, fuck that. If this group of people is going to gatekeep me, I'll just go find another group of people that won't. I mean, there's always going to be people like that. There's a lot of goalkeepers in life, period. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people in front of the net trying to block other people from getting in for one reason or another. Not just subculturally, but with everything. With fucking everything. Political gatekeeping is a real deal now. Especially right now amongst the left. It's just a bunch of games if you're not leftist or you're not the right kind of leftist. You can't come sit at the table with other leftists because you have this belief or that belief, and that precludes you from being a leftist. You're not a real leftist. You're a tanky. You're a this, that. I mean, that's all gatekeeping. That's all goalpost shifting, and you know what I mean? It's all a way to stifle conversation on an actual subject rather than engaging with it. Oh, dude, I'll get that all the time. Like, people will ask me, like, music questions in here. And they'll be like, hey, Paul, do you like such and such band? And I'll be like, yeah, dude, I'm a fan. I like that band. And then they'll ask me some obscure song from some early album of that band, and I won't know it. And they'll be like, LaMau Paul said he was an X this or X that fan. And it's like, man, whatever. Like, there's fandom and there's standom. And I don't stan anybody. I like the idea of being a fanatic, like, because that's what fan is short for, is fanatic. So I like the idea of being somebody who's into somebody's aesthetic and into somebody's music, but not so into it that you're fucking... Oh my god, dude, metalheads are the worst. I've never seen more gatekeeping and bullshit in a fucking subgenre of music fans in my life as metalheads, dude. I stopped even talking to people about metal. Like, I like a little bit of metal. I'm not a huge metalhead. I like some metal. But I just stopped fucking, like, talking about it because it's such a toxic subject. It breeds, like, so much fucking chat arguing with each other about what is and isn't metal and shit. It really is. And it's like that in person, too, I find, with metalheads. Like, they'll fucking argue for days about shit. It's just like all that aggression from the metal genre expresses itself in the fandom, I think, in that way. They gotta be aggro. When there's not a metal band playing, they've got to find a reason to do a fucking mosh pit anyway, you know? You know what I think, dude? And I'm just gonna say it. I think that hip-hop has one of the most open and accepting kind of fucking subcultural fandoms right now. There's some gatekeeping and shit, but for right now, I feel like hip-hop is just like, hey, everybody can listen to this. If you're into it, great. It doesn't matter who or what you are, great. If you vibe with it, great. And that's pretty fucking cool. I mean, there are the aforementioned old heads, people that are like stuck in the 80s and 90s that think that that was hip hop and that this current stuff is not real hip hop or not real rap. And they try and gatekeep people that are into the new shit. And, you know, but there's really not a lot of that. In comparison with a lot of other subgenres and genres of music, there's not a lot of that. I mean, a lot of doors have been just blown like completely off the hinges. Women as a solo act, like if you look back in the 90s, I made some tweets about this, but it's really interesting in hip hop. There were a couple of like female rappers, and they were always presented with a legitimizer. So like there was a rapper back in the day called Da Brat. She's actually real great. The Brat, if you will. She went by Da Brat back when Da was, you know, a good thing. And she had to be kind of legitimized on the scene by appearing with, I'm trying to remember which rapper it was that did Functified with her. See, that's the thing, is like that song, what you remember about it is Da Brat. But she appears with Jermaine Dupri, because he was a big fucking star at the time. So she comes out with this amazing song called Functified, right? And if you listen to it, Jermaine Dupri does not even really cut that big of a fucking verse on it. Like, you should go listen to the song. He was there as her male hip hop legitimizer. The same thing happened to a super talented female rapper who went by the name of the Lady of Rage. She had a great song. It was on the Above the Rim soundtrack, which was actually a dope ass fucking soundtrack. Had a lot of talent. Her big hit was called Afro Puffs, and she had to be legitimized on the scene, and her legitimizer was none other than the king himself, Snoop Dogg. Get out of here, fly. Eminem, as a white dude trying to crack in a serious way into the rap scene, he had to be legitimized by Dr. Dre, right? Like, he had to be ushered in and like no, this is actually a dude you need to pay attention to. So now people of all stripes are getting into hip hop. The doors have been blown off the hinges in terms of who can participate in this shit. Right. Nicki Minaj was featured a lot. I mean, right now, there are so many female rappers that have transcended the names of anybody who helped them, any man who had to legitimize them on the scene, that it's fucking crazy. It's like the wind has changed in hip hop. I got to tell you, it really has. You talk about like a fucking male dominated industry that was only dotted with really bright, talented women. I don't know all of their names and shit. I wasn't into all of them, but Lauryn Hill comes to mind as a collaborator in a hip hop group that, just fucking shown as a solo artist better than she did by the people that were meant to legitimize her. Just call this show hashtag based. Yeah, dude, I'll change the name of the channel to hashtag based. Missy, yep. Missy Misdemeanor Elliott. You think an LGBT rapper could be legitimized like that nowadays? There's one, the biggest rapper in the world right now is gay. Openly. Unapologetically gay. So I guess that should answer your question. Number one song in the fucking world with a bullet. Easily the most popular rapper in the world right now. Unapologetically, openly gay. The doors are off the hinges. Anybody can participate. It's become an absolute playground for creatives, and I love that. Yeah, Lil Nas X took his name as a way to show his respect and deference to the rapper Nas. And his career is going to be bigger than Nas's ever was. Spend the day burying irrigator pipe in the ground. I hurt right now. Dude, Mr. Naughty Priest, your hard work is appreciated. You're the salt of the earth, Mr. Naughty Priest. I would be dead if I did what you did today. So take heart. But Nas was actual rap. See? Oh, there's crossover shit happening that nobody ever thought would happen. Nas X, like, love it or hate it, broke onto the scene by crossing hip hop with country music. He's a fan of country and was influenced by it, and that's how he broke.
It's like Ray Charles with the fucking like gospel.
Right.
Or,
Like Ray Charles took jazz music and started infusing it with gospel. And it was seen at the time as like this horrible mix of shit, this blasphemous mix, this thing that shouldn't have a lot of gatekeeping. And he ended up being the #1 artist in the world for a long time because of it. Because he decided, like, fuck the barriers that people have put between this type of music and that type of music. I'm gonna fucking blend it and do whatever the fuck I want. I'm gonna add in whatever I want. I'm gonna make what I want, and boom. And right now, like, there's never been a better time for hip hop. Like, I'm not talking about like era wise. I'm just talking about like participation wise and inclusivity wise. Everybody can do it. Anybody can do it. Well, you know what I mean. Anybody can legitimately try.
that was humble.
Kanye, a very experimental rapper when it comes to his beats and mixing genre and changing up established beat patterns. Like Kanye, he can boom bap with the best of them, but he's not looking for a boom bap song. You know what I mean? Kanye is kind of fearless when it comes to his beats. Oh yeah, dude. Totally agree, Marshall. Like fearless about like not putting something out that he knows people may receive poorly, but ends up becoming a new standard in the genre. You know what I mean? Like I fucking love that about Kanye.
Oh shit! God damn it! I got a fucking fly in my.
Hey, that's one less fly that's around,
Yeah.
but you had to sacrifice a cup of water. Let me see this motherfucker. That's right, bitch. Sorry, babe. Sorry he landed in your water, but I'm glad he's dead. Lil Nas X doesn't actually rap well, even if you like the production of the sound and music. Whatever you say, dude. Whatever you say, bruh. Sounds like you're trying to be a gatekeeper in a genre that I just said that the doors were blown off of, so good luck. The world disagrees, but whatever. You want to die on that hill, I'm fine with it. What's something of Kanye to check out that a metalhead would appreciate? Check out the entire album Yeezus. Just listen to that album. Force yourself to sit down and listen to that whole fucking album and tell me what you think about it. It's my favorite Kanye album by a hot fucking mile, dude. Yeezus is now. If you don't want to listen to a whole album, just listen to Black Skinhead off of Yeezus and see what you think about it. What do you think about the idea that a leftist, in particular an anarchist or a general radical who's arrested, has an opportunity to use their day in court as an opportunity to further propaganda? It just requires somebody to actually cover whatever you do in court, which is what are the chances of that? Like, if you're arrested for petty theft or something, what are the chances of anything that you do or say being covered by any fucking media outlet? I personally don't listen to hip hop, but I appreciate what many of the artists of the genre have done with the music industry in terms of production value and experimentation. That's cool. I mean, I that's why I said listen to the whole fucking album, but you know what I mean? It's my favorite Kanye album because I feel like somebody in the chat said it's like a manic episode in album form, but I think it's like a Rosetta Stone to what Kanye really thinks about things. I think that he is so honest and truthful on that album, and that's what makes it fucking brilliant. Dude, that album just fucking slapped me in the face. I was kind of sleeping on Kanye until that album dropped, I'll be honest. Like, that album caused me to start going back and looking at, because all I'd heard of Kanye was Gold Digger, and I was not impressed. You know what I mean? I didn't have my friend that was a hip hop head was not a Kanye fan, so my pipeline that would feed me new hip hop artists that were dope never fed me any Kanye. And then Yeezus came out, and I found it on my own. I was like, fuck me. Went back and started listening to Late Registration and College Dropout and just like totally, yeah, 808s and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and all that shit. And I was just like, whoa, this is all just great. Okay, all right. Your older sister was your pipeline, Lil Wayne and Dr. Dre and Drake. I had multiple pipelines, but in after my 20s, I had one. And he was just my friend, hip hop head guy, worked at a record store, the whole nine. And he would feed me dope shit. Like, we had a lot of similar tastes. And so he kind of knew what kind of shit I'd be into. And he would just kind of like, back in the day, like hop on my Facebook messengers or whatever the fuck and just drop a song in there. And like, I'd say like 9 out of 10 times when I clicked on the song, I started becoming a fan of some new artist. He was good at that shit. Yep. He'd just drop it in there. And usually it was some good shit. He was into like fringe kind of experimental stuff. So he also put me up on a lot of electronic music and shit. Dubstep, when that was popular back in the day for a year or two. Helped me find a lot of my favorite dubstep stuff. I can't even really listen to it anymore. But back in the day, I vibed. Yeah, he got me into Doom. He introduced me to MF Doom. Way back in the day, though. I've known this guy since high school, so. If it weren't for dubstep, you wouldn't know how to make music, see? Yeah, dude. Trying to remember, there was this song that, like, he got me into dubstep with this song. Because he tried a couple of times sending me dubstep shit, and I was just like, dude, I'm not feeling this dubstep. And then he sent me this, I'm trying to remember the name of the artist. The song's called Swagger. And it takes like an old rap sample. I can't remember who. I think it might have been Biggie sampled on it. It wasn't Skrillex, no. Dat Sick, yeah, and Excision. Yep. That's exactly who it was. Guess I got my swagger back. Oh my God, dude. I was like, holy shit. Dat sick, dude. Yep. Loved him. You met Dat sick? That's cool. I actually fucked with Dat sick heavy for a while. Guess I got my swagger back. Womp, 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 womp. Bzzz. Good shit. That's the kind of dubstep that I liked. I like that really hard, gritty, bassy dubstep. I wasn't a big fan of like Skrillex. Bong rips from Seattle. Cool, bruh. What do you think of Aphex Twin? Did acid for my first time and thought the experience was just how window liquor sounds.
Sorry, it was another fly that was on your drink.
And I've got like a, oh no.
You got one too?
Dude, no, it was just a bubble, I think. Fuck. Now I'll never know. No, it's fine. I'm fine. If there's a fly, so be it. I'll eat it. Warning. I will eat you. Trying to think of other. It's been so long. I have a dubstep playlist that I could pull up if I could also access Spotify. Like, I wish I could stream with you guys in the corner and look at my shit. That would be so fucking dope. Get on. Can we get on that, YouTube? Just like minimize you guys, put you in a picture-in-picture so that I can look at my phone and do things on it. That would be really dope. That'd be really dope, YouTube. Thank you. Please make. Hope you're still here when I come back. I may not be. I may not be. Wasn't planning on doing this for super long today. You want an iPhone? I am. Wouldn't that kill your battery though? Drains super fast. I mean, I can plug my phone in out here. That's not a, I don't really care about the battery. It is a pretty simple situation to plug my phone in out here. What other electronic sounds do you like? I assume you liked early techno since it was darker and denser than early house. I was actually into like early dubstep, but I didn't really recognize dubstep once it went mainstream. I'm trying to remember the name of the artist. See, like, I don't know. But anyway, as far as it, yeah, like deep house, I liked a lot of the mainstream stuff. I liked some like dance EDM type stuff. Like, I really was a fan of, especially some of the remixes of Modest Mouse songs. I have some kind of an obsession with that song. I remember because I shroomed one time and played DJ Hero. I used to have DJ Hero back in the day, and I was on shrooms playing DJ Hero for like 6 hours, and that song was one of them on DJ Hero. I Remember by Modest Mouse, or not Modest Mouse, Dead Mouse. Yeah, I could get 2 phones, one for the plug and one for the load. DJ Hero was kind of fun, yo. Modern psychedelic indie rock. King Gizzard count? King Gizzard and his friend the Lizard Wizard. Does that count? Are we good there? I want to hear it now. See, if I had another phone, I could hear it. I'm going to end this. See